Good afternoon.
There's a fish on my head.
There is a fish on your head. You look like you're being eaten by a shark. Whoop.
Oh.
Hope the eyeball didn't come up.
Oh no.
Well, we're not doing live because we've had too many issues with live. What are you doing?
I don't know. Okay.
All right. So this is going to be public and private. We're just going to throw this out here. Sex is dirty and nasty, and you should save it for the one you love.
Wow. Really? Is that how you grew up?
No, not necessarily. We did talk about sex, but it was
Save it for the one you love.
save it for the one you love.
You know how
No. You're married. Okay. All right. Now I kind of don't know anything about it. I did what? What are you doing to the dog?
Well, yeah, because I don't want the dog barking every time you laugh.
She does for some reason.
If anybody wants a Sheltie,
No.
go buy your own.
Yeah. That's awesome. No,
All right.
we are picking up stuff from our or laying down stuff, I guess. From
Laying stuff down.
laying stuff down.
So
from
we've
our
had a conversation. We've actually brought this up before about understanding how spouse views body.
Insecurities.
And so that deals with you self-analyzing. Every animal known to man is going to come and bug us. Watch, the children are going to come in because we're talking about sex.
Of course, they haven't bugged us all day. Now they will.
Knowing your belief on body is about self-analyzing and okay, how do I believe, how should I treat my body? How do I like my body? And then how is it okay for my spouse to treat my body? Is it a plaything or is it a holy thing? But your belief
or a little bit of both.
Yeah, or your belief has to, you have to tell each other that. So.
And I think this is really important. If you guys did not see last week's video, it was really good. Especially around the 7-minute mark, I get deep. It got really good for parents, for people about beliefs. And the 6th layer of communication that you really should be having with your spouse is beliefs.
Right.
But I think you need to get through the other layers to get to that belief system. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing you should discuss is your belief on sex.
Yes, your belief on sex. And if you don't understand what your belief on sex is, it's really simple. All you have to do is have that kind of quick conversation. Hey, when I grew up
as you talk.
When I grew up on sex, when I grew up, it was don't have sex until you're married. And then when I got to college, it was just be safe. That was
without you being married.
Yeah, that was a whole sexual conversation that me and my father had. They relied on public school to teach me about sex, and if we know anything about Common Core, parents, I think it's about time you take sex out of the public school and actually have the conversation with your children, even though you may feel a little uncomfortable, but grow up, you're the adult that had them.
Yep.
So we need to take sex back from public school or in addition to public school so that you can actually understand how your child is going to grow up and believe in their belief on sex.
It's being written on their hearts when it comes to sex and relationships.
Right. And so if you grew up that don't have sex, which is what every Judeo-Christian parent says, don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex, that you're not really communicating safe and effective ways to have sex. It's more of I don't want you to be a single parent or a child pregnancy. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's not really sex education. Having sex education of hey, you should save it for when you're married because Jesus tells you to, or because of the faith that we have. You should love the person, be in a committed relationship, make sure they don't have any STDs. You need to have all of those uncomfortable conversations with your children so that when they grow up and they have somebody that they're having sex with, it is more of a healthy state rather than sex is dirty. You should only have it when you want to procreate. Or on the other side is that we should be porn stars. You know what I mean? And it's kind of in society where one or the other. And we see
people in movies and everything just having sex all the time in unsanitary situations. I mean, there's
She's
so
been watching
much.
a lot of Outlander.
Well, there's so much that the world says about sex. It should be passionate and crazy and wild all the time. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Yeah. But just because it's not that way all the time doesn't mean it's bad or wrong or you're unfulfilled in your sex life. I think sex comes down to talking before anything.
Because you cannot have sex for 2 hours in the shower. If you've had sex in the shower, you'll know that you can't have it. It's like doing a wall sit forever. If you could do that for 2 hours, then you don't even go to the gym.
But I think it's important to really get down to the heart of what you were taught, how that's affecting your marriage now, and what belief system the two of you want to come up with to teach your children about it. And maybe your children are already grown. this might be a good conversation to bring up even now if you have adult children. How are they raising their kids? And maybe you don't want to have that conversation because it could be like, I don't want to step on toes. But if you have little kids, talk to them about that. I'm teaching my boys health, and right now we discuss domestic abuse and sexual abuse. And Xander's like, nope, I'm out of here. Nope. I said, you sit down here. I said, this is just a part of our body. I said, how about you guys grow up a little bit and let's have an adult conversation. I know they're 11 and 14, but let's have this conversation without you being a giddy little kid. Since sex is extremely important. It is beautiful with the one you love. It is fantastic, but like the Bible says, don't awaken sex until it desires, which means its beautiful unfolding flower of a beautiful desire is in the healthy confines of a committed marriage relationship. And I really feel that's the way well, that's the way God intended it to be. He invented this. I don't know why we're so crazy about sex and why it's such a big deal.
We can't talk about it, and I would say I'll throw the church under the bus here. We gave it to the world, and then now we're confused of why the world is perverting it.
Yeah.
And instead of just educating and having the uncomfortable conversation, it's kind of the grow up. Everyone's going to have it. You're going to do it the rest of your life. Once you start doing it, you're going to do it the rest of your life.
I probably
it's more
won't be doing
addictive
algebra
than
the rest of my
nicotine,
life.
cocaine, or heroin. Sex is more addictive than all of those because once you have it, you always want it again.
Yep.
And that's why we tell our kids not to have sex until they get married, because they know that once you have it, you're just going to keep wanting it.
Yeah.
So you're going to have it, everyone's going to have it, so you might as well talk about it in a healthy way and in a way that you believe and want to pass that belief on to your children.
Yes. How do you want your kids to think about sex? Do they want you to think about it the way you think about it now? Is that healthy? Is it not healthy? Think about that and what you're putting on their hearts when it comes to that in their marriage. You know, have they been abused? And how can you turn that around to go, you know what, God did not intend for the world to distort it. Mm-hmm. You deserve a beautiful, healthy sexual relationship where you can feel all marriages do, where you can feel uninhibited, you could feel one, you can experience it the way it was meant to be experienced.
Experimentational. Yes. It's supposed to be experimentational. So when we say, hey, try something new, literally it was created for you to try something new.
Yeah.
When you have a conversation and I tell my spouse what my beliefs on sex are, and she tells me what her beliefs on sex are, again, we're at the opinion level that we talked about.
Yeah, level
so
3. Just
because you don't agree, it doesn't mean that that's an argument.
Right.
But what I would say is that this would be a great point to compromise. Mm-hmm. Hey, I understand that this is your belief, but my belief, I think, is a little more freeing. Do you want to try it my way? Do you want to test the belief a little bit, and then see what you can come out with a beautiful compromise of, hey, you know, I'm more playful, she's more reserved, but now we're just a little more playful, or now we're just a little more reserved, mm-hmm. depending on how far the pendulum that you're on. Yeah. So I'm over here and she's over there, kind of end up in the middle. But it is just communicating what your belief is and understanding that it's okay and safe with your spouse to communicate your sexual belief. If your sexual belief is, you can't see me naked, I'm going to rush into the covers, and then we're going to do what we're supposed to do between a hole in the sheet, I would advise you to swing that pendulum to the right of the playful side a little bit more, because your spouse married you because they find you attractive and they want to see you naked.
Yes.
Even if you have scars all over your body, we don't see it because we love you as the whole person.
Yes.
Not just whatever nitpicky thing. Yes, I do have scars
all over
my body.
Yeah.
So.
But I love that, and I think that's a good place to start. As married couples.
Do you see those scars anymore?
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
And it goes from here to there, and I have some on my back.
All over.
Yeah.
No, I don't see them anymore.
Yeah, chicks dig scars, man. Chicks dig scars. Just not self-inflicted.
No. All right. So there. You know, I love that title. We learned that from our guy that was at the marriage retreat. Sex is dirty and nasty, and save it for the one you love.
Which is the stupidest.
That's a lot of Judeo-Orthodox Christian that a lot of us have been taught growing up.
Yeah.
I think you need to change it, shift it.
Sex is beautiful with the one you love.
Yes, all the time. Yeah.
Even in the shower, even if it takes 2 minutes, 30 seconds. 30-second quickies are 30-second quickies, and they bring you together.
There you go.
All right.
All right, guys. guys. We're also going to put in the show notes 52 questions to ask each other. We did 150 questions that were a little bit, off the rails crazy, which is fun too.
If you would like to. Oral.
All right. If you want to bring it back down a little notches, we will put this link in for you guys to have really in-depth talks about this. Go beyond opinions.
This is an awesome date night thing. Just take a couple of questions and go over them.
Yeah.
You can do this whole thing in 2 hours. I don't want to do a 2-hour conversation just all about sex. It's fun, but
yes, you do.
On a date night, a couple of these questions every now and then would actually help you out with the belief, what you're willing to do in the bedroom and stuff like that. There's more gentle than the 120 questions that I ask.
Look at this. I'm getting old. Look at these wrinkles that show up.
Okay.
Right.
Also, if you would like to bless us because you like us, if you don't like us, then you could do this anyways. We're in a contest, and in the show notes will be a link to vote for a picture of ours that we posted. This would give us a 2-night stay at Semiamu. That would be awesome.
Because that's what we need.
Yeah.
A night away again.
So that we can act out the beliefs on sex. The other thing is that if you haven't been on a date for a while, go to Get Date Box and type in "Have a Marriage 50" for 50% off of your date, your first date box date. And they now do a box that you receive in the mail, and then they also do dates out. So if you live near a city, then I would do the date out.
Most people live near a city.
Well, if you're 50 miles away from a city, then do the date box. You know what I mean?
That's good for the point.
So just stuff like that. So Get Date Box, Have a Marriage 50 for 50% off of your first date. And then vote for us so that we get a couple of nights away for free. Because
why not?
Why not? We're not going to videotape anything that happens.
No.
Thumbs up if you want to.
No.